All right, so today what we're going to be talking about is a neutral spine versus a rounded spine. How many of you guys here have heard that it's bad to lift with a rounded spine? I may have even told you some of that, right? So first thing I want to get into is what an actual injury is, and then how a rounded spine versus a neutral spine can be an okay thing or can be a bad thing. Okay, so first, every day when we do something, we lift with a neutral spine or we lift with a rounded spine, that creates an insult. So an insult is a little breakdown of tissue. Whether we do it with a neutral spine or we do it with a rounded spine, we're going to get some insult, right? When we recover from that insult, that's part of the training process. You do a deadlift, you go home, you recover from that deadlift. When we recover from it, we're then fitter the next time we come back. Okay? If we don't recover from that insult, we start to accumulate insults day in and day out. Okay? So those insults start to build up, and as our body starts to sense that we're insulting and damaging the tissue, we get what's called an irritation. This is when our nervous system basically comes in and says, hey, we've got a problem down here, we need to pay attention to it. So that might be noticing some stiffness in the back, that might be noticing some clicking or grinding in the spine, noticing some problems like that. Okay? When we notice that irritation, if we then give ourselves the appropriate stimulus to recover, we end up recovering, and then as we recover, we get fitter. Okay? If we notice that irritation and we don't give it the proper protocol to recover, we end up with what's called an injury. An injury is specifically an amount of irritation that doesn't allow us to do what we want to do. Okay? So I go to pick up a deadlift one day, and it's with a neutral spine. Okay? And then I don't recover from that workout. So now I'm a little stiff and sore, but the next day I come in, I'm like, I'm going to do this deadlift again, and I do it with a neutral spine. The next day, I'm a little stiffer and I'm a little more sore, but I'm still okay. So the next week, I do 2 deadlifting days in a row, a little bit heavier, a little bit more reps. Again, I don't do enough to recover. Now all of a sudden, that third week, I come in to pick that up, and oh God, my back is killing me. I just can't lift this anymore. Does that make sense to everybody? So what do we have to do? We have to recover. We eat well, we sleep well, we do some active recovery, we do some of that movement with a little bit less intensity or a little bit different volume. We recover, we end up fitter in the long run for it. Does that make sense? So specifically regarding the spine, we do a lot of spinal injury rehab here. So basically, people have insulted their spines enough to lead to an irritation, and they've insulted it even further, and it's led to an injury. They come in, they say, I can't do such and such because my back hurts. Some people can't run for 26 miles. Some people can't pick up their child because their back hurts. Some people can't get out of bed in the morning without a stiff spine and taking 3 hours to warm up from it. Okay, so at that point, they come into us with an injury. Now, a whole lot of people come into us and they say, well, I can't run 26 miles. Well, can you run 2 miles? Yeah. So specifically, there's no actual limitation there, but they can't do what they want to do, so it's termed an injury. Does that make sense? So what we have to do is get that person fit enough to handle a 26-mile run without overloading parts of their body. Okay?